In this video, we will explore the idea of blackness, its history, and the movement it has sparked. The concept of blackness is complex and multidimensional, including a range of movements, identities, and ideologies. Blackness has its roots in Africa's rich and varied past, which gave rise to many different civilizations, kingdoms, and empires. It is a history of tenacity, inventiveness, and creative expression. It frequently serves as the focal point of several African and African diaspora movements. Panafricanism, Negritude, and other movements that honor and promote African and Black identity are examples of such movements. Notable individuals such as W.E.D. Du Bois, Marcus Garvey, and the Rastafarians have had a significant impact on African sense of self. Du Bois' idea of double consciousness, which embodies the nuanced experience of being both African and American, highlights the internal battle that Black people of the diaspora endure. This idea is linked to blackness, as it forces people to explore their identities and work for a complete sense of self. With his well-known statement, "Up you mighty race, accomplish what you will," Marcus Garvey, Jamaican political activist, promoted Black pride, economic independence, and the return of Black people to Africa. These ideas helped to forge solidarity and self-resilience among Black communities. Moreover, with its roots in the blackness identity, the Rastafarian movement was formed in Jamaica throughout the 20th century and has had a significant influence on the African diaspora. Redemption Song by Bob Marley and the Wailers perfectly encapsulates the essence of the movement, which emphasizes the quest for freedom, truth, and the rejection of repressive structures. Africans are motivated by these influential people and groups to embrace their culture, overcome hardship, and work for a better future. Bob Marley encouraged people to rise beyond the mental confines and work for a better, more just future, as he sung,
"Emancipate yourselves from mental slavery, none but ourselves can free our mind."
As said earlier, blackness encompasses many other African movements such as Panafricanism and Negritude. Panafricanism is a dynamic and cross-border movement that unites people of African origin worldwide by promoting a sense of solidarity and unity. Pan-Africanism at its foundation emphasizes the unity of those who have African ancestry, history, and culture in common. It promotes the notion that African experiences are linked to the fight against racism, colonization, and other kinds of oppressions. Pan-Africanism seeks to provide a strong foundation for collective advancement by highlighting this common history and culture. It promotes political and social transformation, economic empowerment, and the reclaiming of African identity and pride. This movement is a tribute to tenacity, inventiveness, and promise of the Black population worldwide, as well as to the rich diversity of African traditions. Across the African diaspora, Pan-Africanism is a potent force in the continuous fight for justice, equality, and personal empowerment. Its foundations are found in the significant contribution and thought of well-known leaders and intellectuals. The well-known African-American scholar W.E.B. Du Bois stands out among them for his revolutionary work on the Pan-African Congresses and the necessity of worldwide African unification. He organized the inaugural Pan-African Congress in 1919, advocating for the abolition of European dominance. Also, the first president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, played a key role in establishing the Organization of African Unity, which is currently recognized as the African Union. in encouraging unity and collaboration among African countries.
It is clear that we must find an African solution to our problems, and that this can only be found in African unity. Divided, we are weak. United, Africa could become one of the greatest forces for good in the world.
This Kwame Nkrumah quotation highlights the value of solidarity and collaboration among African countries and illustrates the Pan-Africanist conviction in African unity and its ability to positively impact the globe. In addition, the Jamaican-born leader Marcus Garvey, who founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and promoted Black pride, self-sufficiency, and return to Africa, left a lasting impact. Through stressing the common history and experience of people of African ancestry, as well as the ongoing significance of unity, identity, and advancement throughout the African diaspora, their beliefs and deeds have influenced the development of Pan-Africanism. Negritude has been defined by Leopold Sédar Senghor as the sum of the cultural values of the Black world as they are expressed in the life, the institutions, and the works of Black men. A major reaction to the colonial era's denial of African culture and history is that in the 20th century, we saw the emergence of the influential literary and philosophical movement known as Negritude. This movement's main proponent, former Senegalese President Leopold Sédar Senghor, was instrumental in formulating its tenets. The celebration of Black identity, culture, and tradition as precious and unique was central to Senghor's notion of negritude. He maintained that African spirituality, culture, and customs were a source of inspiration and pride. Negritude is a useful and adaptable notion that can accommodate many Black communities' identity manifestations rather than being a strict doctrine. It is also crucial to discuss the concept of negritude, which was first proposed by Nigerian poet and dramatist Wole Soyinka and offered an alternative viewpoint. Negritude criticized any philosophy that reduced the variety of African identity manifestations to a single concept, whereas Negritude praised Black identity and tradition. This viewpoint promoted African writers and artists' freedom to experience with a variety of subjects and forms independent of their race. The idea of negritude recognized intellectual and artistic variety as a vital component in the advancement of African literature and culture. In addition to Pan-Africanism and negritude, important role in the continuous narrative of Black empowerment, justice, and identity are played by civil rights and Black liberation movements, contemporary movements like Black Lives Matter, and the global perspective on Black struggles. This concept captured the dynamic narrative of Black experience, highlighting the people's tenacity, camaraderie, and unwavering quest for equality over distance and time. The civil rights movement of the mid-20th century is a defining period in Black history, marked by the tireless effort of leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Rosa Parks. The movement aimed to dismantle racial segregation and systematic racism in the United States. African Americans sought to desegregate schools, have equal access to employment, and guarantee that Black men and women could vote freely. It was a strong force that promoted voting equality, desegregation, and civil freedoms. Historic laws were passed as a result, such as the Voting Rights Act of 1965 and the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This emphasized how crucial nonviolent protest is to achieving justice. The 2013 founding of the Black Lives Matter movement rekindled the global struggle for racial equality. After Trayvon Martin's killer was found not guilty, Black Lives Matter became a global movement that fought against institutional racism, police brutality, and the devaluation of Black lives. Street demonstration, community involvement, and Black Lives Matter activity in the Internet era have spurred important global conversations about institutional prejudice, racial inequality, and the need for social transformation. Because of this, the fight for Black rights transcends national boundaries. It is a global problem, and Black people's circumstances are linked to each other globally. While previous movements such as Panafricanism highlighted the solidarity of African Americans throughout the diaspora, the global viewpoint of today highlights the universality of Black issues. The experience of colonialism, racism, and discrimination are shared by African American, Afro-Caribbean, and Black populations globally. The persistent problems of colorism, ethnic prejudice, and socio-economic inequality in mostly Black countries are also acknowledged by these global viewpoints. The Black experience is multi-faced, involving a variety of identities, cultures, and languages. Acknowledging this variety makes the global justice movement stronger because Black communities' unity amplifies voice and forges a unified front against injustice. In summary, this investigation into Blackness has shown identities, movements, and concepts that have influenced Black experience throughout history and geography. The battle for justice and empowerment has no bounds, as seen by the struggles of civil rights and Black liberation movements, the strength of Black movements such as Black Lives Matter today, and the ongoing worldwide perspective on Black struggles. The Black community is strong and united, as seen by the celebration of Black identity, culture, and heritage via movements like Negritude and Panafricanism. It is critical to comprehend the complex idea of Blackness, pay tribute to its historical roots, and acknowledge the continued search for a more just and fair future as we work toward a society where everyone is treated with equality, freedom, and respect. I encourage you to carry on in the comments on this investigative, conversational, and activist trip, and to welcome the variety and solidarity that characterizes the colorful tales of Blackness. Until next time, keep echoing the stories of Africa.